What's up, you guys? This is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today we are going to be introducing something new to the channel. So we're calling this series 60 Minutes Later, or an hour later. I'm really still in the phases of figuring out whether this is gonna work or not. But basically, I'm gonna take a frame into solo survival. We're gonna go in for 60 minutes in advance. So 60 minutes is currently on the clock. That's why everything's just paused right now. And then we're gonna go ahead and kind of chat from there and see where it goes. We're gonna talk about endgame builds, strategies, issues that I have, reasons why I love Kavats, a bunch of different things on this series. We'll see how far we get into it, because legitimately, no, usually I do spend like an hour of time prepping ahead of time on other videos, but legitimately for this one, I was just sitting here watching like Legion and playing. I'm gonna shut up and we're gonna jump in. For those of you guys who are wondering, as you can see, my build does include an Ash Prime, a Dread Axe Stiletto Prime, Venka Prime, my little kitty, and an Energy Siphon. Really, I'm only using the Venka Prime, if I'm gonna be honest with you, if I'm gonna be completely honest with you. So let's just hope that everything goes hunky-dory. I'm gonna refresh my headset because sometimes it likes to turn itself off, and let's just go ahead and jump the fuck in. Okay, good. Ooh. Keys were off the right keyboard. So straight out of the gate, I kind of wanted to start this series to kind of show everybody that Endgame really is not as hard as everybody makes it out to be, especially because I can do it. I'm like, listen, now clearly the only thing that I really think is a challenge for Endgame is being able to keep yourself sane throughout the majority of it, and what I'm experiencing right now. This is one of the things that kind of frustrates me because it tends to happen mainly due to the mechanics that I use to kind of get to endgame. As you can see, I am running Ash with invisibility. I'm using the Naramon focus to keep myself invisible. There you go. Using the Naramon focus to keep me invisible, and I'm using melee to kind of deal the damage that I need to deal. Now, the issue that I tend to find with this kind of setup is the fact that enemies don't seem to be like super duper attracted to me. That sounds like a really sound like, oh, enemies aren't attracted to me. They can't find me. So what ends up happening is I end up kind of having a little bit of an enemy drought. I don't know if anybody else does these kind of like really long duration survivals, and I run around for like long extended periods of time like, where is everything? Somebody send me an enemy to kill. And it's never, for the most part, it really has not come down to like the amount of damage that I can output, but usually most of the time it comes down to the kind of like, okay, where are the enemies? Do I have any more enemies to kill? And then I end up running around, and as you guys know, my big fault is I am fucking mechanically inept. Or not mechanically inept, technically inept. It's the mechanics that get me here. It's the technical skill that loses me these missions. And the main reason that I say that is because of the fact that I'm very bad at being aware of like my my level of life support. And I'll actually give you guys. Ooh, that got kind of. Oh, there you go. First death, as you can tell, Arcane Revive. So that was my first death of this whole shebang. There you go. Oh no, Aspen is down. This is the story. This is the story of last time, and I actually should post up the clip of exactly what happened last time I got put into this position. Was mainly the fact that I actually rezzed Aspen's clone. Like, he still had his mischief ability on, and what ended up happening is he created a decoy, which ended up getting him killed. Let me go ahead and just shred their armor. This is what I like to do when whenever. Whoop, hold on, and you guys are gonna have to pardon me just a little bit if I don't end up being as eloquent as normal. Clearly, I'm 60 minutes into a survival mission, so my brain may not quite be all there. But one of the things that I like to do when I lose my multiplier, ooh, energy is gone. One of the things that I like to do when, oh, because there's an energy sapper guy, that I like to do whenever I do lose my multiplier, which happens occasionally, like, because like I was saying, you know, I run into a room, and what ends up happening more often than not is I'm kind of like running across the zone, and my 8 seconds is up off of Naramon. So what will always happen is with what I'm finding with Ash is that I like to kind of, you know, refresh with Smoke Bomb just to make sure that I kind of have a little bit of a support system, not to kind of like fuck my life up. So I have the added stealth. It's like bonus extra stealth on top of my already stealth. But I do that, and then I'll hit a couple of the rougher enemies with the Seeking Shuriken to shred their armor, just to kind of make it a little bit easier, because I don't want to sit there whacking around for too long. But as you can tell, because of the fact that I'm using the Venka Prime with this, my melee multiplier is up, and it's up fairly fucking quick. As you guys can see, I dropped down just a second ago, and now I am back to 4 times melee multiplier. So for those of you guys who don't know, the Venka Prime has its own special, that's like its special prime skill, is the fact that it's got its own unique melee multiplier that actually allows it to to scale up the melee counter a little bit faster. I believe instead of a 0.5, it has a 0.75 multiplier. So that's definitely kind of nice. And then on this, and I'll actually show you guys the build once we're done with this mission. And to be honest with you, I haven't really planned out like when this mission is gonna end. I just figured I'm just gonna keep going for a while, and then if I run out of things to talk about, then I will probably just extract. Is that so terrible? That's why I sit here and think, I was like, oh, all right, well maybe we should do this 30 minutes later. And I was like, boo, if you do it for 30 minutes later and you get up to the hour mark and you're still fucking going, that's 30 minute, number one, that's a 30-minute video, and you're gonna end up running out of things before. So I almost like thought to myself, I was like, well, 60 minutes, you know, if it's a bad day, you'll have a 15-minute video and you'll be dead before that. But if it's a good day, maybe you'll have like a 30-minute video. Who knows? But yeah, so I think my biggest thing about Endgame is the fact that it gets kind of boring. Like this to me, like clearly as you can see, not very much of a challenge. I have a couple run-ins here and there, a couple little issues that end up kind of occurring. But for the most part, I can pretty much stick in here for as long as I don't make mistakes. And as you can see, that was the first mistake that I made during an hour run. Well, actually an hour plus run. So it's not, as long as you've got your mechanics down, and that's kind of what I always said. If you guys haven't watched my the 3 skill sets for you guys to win Warframe with, is the fact that everybody kind of has their own speciality, and me specifically, I'm pretty good when it comes to mechanics. But I also need to pay attention to the fact that I do not have very much. That's why, you little bitch hole. And that's the issue right there, if you can see it, is the fact that I'm not always the greatest when it comes down to watching life support and all that kind of stuff. In fact, that's the reason that I died. That's the reason that I died with Aspen, is because I was too busy rezzing his it was like the ultimate failure of like technical skill. I was like, well, you rezzed the clone by mistake. Number 2, then you started running after the actual one without recognizing the fact that your life support was almost out. So yeah, your technical skill down the shitter. Good job, Rob. However, if you know your mechanics well enough, you can compensate with that. And that's kind of like what I always put out there, is if you can't beat them one way, if you can't go around the mountain, you bury under the mountain, or you go through the mountain. Ooh, and I'm running in. See, that's what I love about Ash, and it's kind of becoming a tendency of mine to refresh myself right after a nullifier bubble. I do not know why, but I like having the double. Don't worry, I see it. I'm just gonna wait for this 5 seconds to go by so that I can refresh my stealth, and then I can go ahead and pick up that thing safely. Come on. Let's just do this. Let's just do that. Let's just call that a thing. What do you call this? Oh, now my train of thought is gone. Yeah, if you can't achieve it, basically, if you can't achieve Endgame one way, you'll find another way to do it. And my way specifically is through abusive mechanics. And we'll talk about gas damage later. For those of you guys who are watching very closely, you actually probably noticed that I used gas damage on my I Am Not a Unicorn video. That one was, I believe, like an 80+ minute long survival, and yeah, and I was actually using gas damage on that. This is kind of like my proving ground that gas damage isn't like, gas damage isn't be all end all. There are going to be other solutions after that gets touched, and maybe that'll be an episode, just the whole gas damage debacle. That'll be interesting to talk about. But yeah, so now one of the things that you'll notice is I have gone Endgame, and I've kind of like done this solo, and that's mainly because I can't find any fucking friends that want to do a goddamn 60 minutes solo or a 60-minute survival with me, and that's mainly, well, that's not just because of the fact that I'm a loser, but it's also because of the fact that these things can get really, really boring. And I'll be honest with you, what actually happened with the pacifism defect, which kind of really, really broke my heart, was it brought back that kind of whole, oh, do the endgame stuff, you know, oh, I need to, hold on, I need to get to some life support, because as usual, I will completely forget that it's a thing that exists, that it's a thing that I need if I don't do it. Now let's see if there are any enemies around here that I can do my multiplier off of. Oh, nope, there aren't. Good job, Rob. But yeah, that's the #1 thing that kind of killed the pacifism defect for me, and it made me sad. It wasn't me. It was the fact that, well, it wasn't me technically, but basically what happened is, because of the fact that people just did not want to stay in a mission for very, very long, you know, they didn't want to do the mission for too long a period, and I can't fault the mission itself. I don't think that the mission itself was boring, but the amount of time it took to get to the exciting bits was just like not enough. Like, I wish they had a higher multiplier, #1, a higher multiplier, but you skip to the hard shit like straight out of the gate. That's really what I want. Because, you know, you spend the first like 30 minutes, or in this case like the first 60 minutes of a survival, and it just really doesn't feel all that exciting or all that thrilling. You're just kind of like, oh, okay, we're in a survival and we're just winning. And then you finally get to like the parts where it's gripping, where you're like, oh my god, am I gonna have enough damage to kill these enemies outright, and like, I don't know, there's a nullifier guy over here. You know, all of the exciting shit, all of the exciting, challenging shit is like not loaded up front. And I understand that one of the big things is DE wants to make things accessible. You know, they don't want to make things too hard, they don't want to make things too difficult for their players, yada yada yada. And that's why we have so many easy modes in game that I kind of like want to roll my eyes over. But the fact is, see, Rob forgets. Oh my god, I just got really, really racist there. Rob forgets that he needs life support. That's literally, I made a freaking challenges off of that before. That's what what my Saturday night streams used to be, was just basically me play. What? Can you come here? Can you come here? You better drop something for me, you asshole. Nothing. I get nothing from him. But basically my Saturday night survivals were just me forgetting to do life support and having to get drunk because I'm so bad at remembering life support. Come on, give me someone to kill. See, this is the issue of my life. This is the issue, is like, I would love a crowd of enemies to dive headfirst into, so that I could get my melee multiplier back up, and so that I could go ahead and sucka now, and get some more life support. But unfortunately, that's just not a thing. You gotta give me some life support. Somebody, one of you two. Somebody give me life support. No, nobody has love for me. And this is the issue, is just like, I just don't find enough enemies to kill. And that's kind of like one of, I guess I would say that's one of my mechanical faults, is like, I should really be able to pay attention as to where enemies are spawning, where good spawn points are, and kind of like, and that is kind of like backstage knowledge, is kind of like they always said with survivals, your group wants to stick together, you don't want to spread out spawns too much. Well, I'm like a one-man personage, and I would love it if I could get more spawns. I mean, clearly, I need them. I need more spawns, please. And because of the fact that I don't have the mental acuity to remember to pop pods. Oh, please. And I get this stubborn thing too. I get this really stubborn thing where I'm like, well, I'm gonna dive headfirst into this group first, and they're gonna drop some life support for me. So I should kill them first before I get a pod. Just like I'm over here fucking playing jump rope with the nullifiers. Come on, one of you. Yes, we got one. Okay, that one is not there. Okay, oh no, are there none like anywhere close? Fuck my life. Okay, this is where Rob loses the survival. Hold on. Please. Oh, the save. Okay, I needed to do that. I needed to do that, okay? Don't feel bad. Oh, where are you? Come on. Ugh. And here's the thing. You'd think that this would be like the first one in this entire mission that I've just fucking oh my god, I'm gonna die. Probably gonna die. Whoop! Yes! Yes! Save the day! Oh my god, please, please. Oh. Okay. I will take that. Get off. Okay. Whew! It got intense real quick, which is good, We wanted this. This is what we asked for, right? This is what we asked for. We wanted some intensity, we wanted some fights, and now we finally got it. This is where things start to get exciting and intense. Jesus, is there like another ancient healer somewhere here? Nope, but we are already the 3.5 times multiplier, which is definitely nice. Oh, I don't know why I didn't just shred their armor to begin with. Sometimes you forget, you know, you get into heat of battle and you're like, oh, I forgot how to play Warframe. Sorry. But no, so it's like moments like that where things get interesting and things actually become a challenge that, you know, you want. And to be honest, with the pacifism defect, it was good to kind of get your rhythm, and I understand that they have to teach you. They kind of have to teach you the basics before they like let you jump in. But the fact is, I liked it when like we were crowded with enemies and we kind of had to figure out, all right, how are we going to get these enemies safely? How are we going to get ourselves to escort them safely, and also clear the path? Do we just push them out of the way, which tended to be the big consensus. Just push them the fuck out of the way. Just get them out of the way. You'll be fine. So it's kind of like one of those things where it's like nobody wanted to stay longer, and I was really sad because I wanted to go for as long as like we possibly could. But there were several instances where it was kind of like, oh, well, nobody wants to do that because it just took too long to get to the good shit. Now that you're at the good shit, people just want to go because like it's not fun, and quote unquote not fun. I thought it was fun all the way. I thought it was fun towards the end bits, like where it got really exciting. Motherfucker, just come here. That's actually one of the things that I really like about Ash 2. And usually I bring Loki into these extended runs and do all of that, but I wanted to kind of try out something different. Wanted to play around. I think I got really jazzed over the fact that he could shred armor himself. Now clearly I was using an overpowered build with Loki, with, you know, gas and Galatine. And by the way, that's another thing. I don't know if people consider Galatine a very meta weapon. Like, I mean, I guess you could, but it's kind of like more on the crit side and not so much on the kind of like endgame side. But for me, like, one of the things that I really wanted to do too is I really wanted to play with the Venka. So for me, it's kind of like, okay, cool, well, why did I try to shred the armor off of these guys? They don't need armor shredded off of them. But yeah, so it's kind of like, I was really in the mood to play the Venka, so I just kind of put on a build that worked and did it. And that's kind of the same thing that happened with the Galatine, because it was like, oh, well, it was, I want to go for a long duration, so I should probably go and use something along the lines of like the Legion or something, or like the Atarax crit build, which I think I'm gonna like revisit at some point, because you guys know like historically I've hated all of those stupid spin to win maiming builds, and they're not really stupid, it's just that I hate playing them myself. So it's mainly because of the fact that I do not enjoy it that I call it stupid. I know that a lot of people are super into it and they love, you know, they cradle their EP when they use it. But me personally, I just never found it all that interesting. So whenever, you know, somebody talked about it, I was like, oh god, that build. I'm like not interested. However, I think that maybe I should give it a shot because it's been a long time since I played it. So maybe that's what we'll see on the next episode of An Hour Later. In fact, if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Let me know some of the topics that we should talk about on this kind of whatever this is. on this video. Yeah, I kind of wanted something to mix up with the daily grind, because I know that everybody gets a little bit tired of it sometimes, and there hasn't been really. I mean, all of the Warframes that we want to talk about, like the interesting Warframes that we want to talk about, are pretty much we've pretty much already talked about them. We're like scraping the bottom of the barrel now. You know, we don't really have too many interesting topics there, and I kind of like don't necessarily want to do a Riven and revisit kind of thing, because I know you guys hate Rivens too. not that I'm disliking Rivens right now. It's just that right now I'm like full up on Rivens. The only thing that I really want is like a Euphona Prime Riven and like, ooh, the new weapon Riven. Oh my god, what the fuck is it called? The Ferox. I want one of those. Ooh, I want one of those Rivens real bad. But I'm like literally almost out of Riven slots. So it's kind of like one of those things where I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I really want to. Don't know if I really want to like invest the time and energy in this. You know, you just do that. I got time. Yeah, but as you can see, like, I feel kind of bad because a part of me wishes I knew spawns better. And if anybody in the here's the thing. Okay, I'm gonna put this out to you guys. I don't really give a crap about your builds. Like, builds, I've got hands down. I don't really want any suggestions on that. But there are lots of things that I want input on, and there's a lot of things that I have questions about. Like, how do you guys figure out what's the best room for spawns? Like, there are some people that are amazing at figuring out that shit. Me, I've never been great. I just kind of walk around till I just see a bunch of enemies coming over and over. And I just kind of go, oh, okay, well, this must be a good room for spawns. And then I kind of just stick there for a while. But is there like a specific strategy? Is there a specific strategy to getting the best spawns? Oh, I'm gonna forget. Sorry, I just want to get it. Yes. Okay. There's one down here. Look at this. I'm being good. I'm paying attention to spawn timers and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah. So I guess that is my only that is my big issue with kind of endgame content, is mainly the fact that it takes too long to get to the really rough stuff. And then, but even then, and I'm wondering if maybe that's the big cause of why people like don't really play it as much or don't feel rewarding to play it as much. At the same time too, I think I hit the nail on the head there. The rewards aren't really, you know, the rewards aren't really all that different. So why would people be incentivized to go for extra long durations? I mean, before it was to squeeze out as many, you know, things out of our keys as possible. But, you know, that's not really an issue or the case anymore. It's just kind of like, well, you only have to stay in for as long as you want to stay in, which I do think is a wonderful thing, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think anybody should be forced into playing extended duration missions if they don't want to play extended duration missions. You know, a lot of people were griping, well, we want the extra. I'm like, well, the thing is, if you do that, then you're gonna then the devs are basically saying something very specific about their game, that they have made it so that you should play Endgame. And that's kind of a fallacy to me, is I feel like everybody should be able to get the same amount of rewards without having to necessarily dedicate themselves to one specific game type. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I could go the rest of my life without ever playing a motherfucking defense ever again. Defense is like one of my least favorite game modes. I cannot stand it. Interception is one of my favorites, and that's because you don't have to defend shit. You just run around and you stand in places, and then you capture those places, and then you kill things. That's definitely one of my things. However, you know, I don't think I hear too many people doing extended interception runs, which is kind of sad. Extended survivals for me is like fine, because again, you don't have to defend shit. I don't want to have. Listen, I can barely keep my cat alive. Do you expect me to keep a fucking what is it called? Cryopod alive? Like, listen, we had what? We had 50 rounds to get this thing the fuck out of here. Why isn't it out of here already? And at least with survival, at least you know the thing you're doing is you are distracting these people. You're distracting these people so that you could go ahead and you're the other operative that is running around, the A team operative, because, you know, apparently we're B team. We're B team operatives, you guys. You didn't know that. There's another operative that's running around, and they're the ones that's getting us all the cool loots. It's not us. It's not because we sat here in this mission playing for an extremely long period of time. Nope. It's because we are distracting people. We are distracting people while somebody comes in and loots that shit. That's what's happening. Don't think it for one reason that it's anything other than that, but legitimately, it's somebody else. It's somebody else doing that shit. Oh my god. So don't feel special. We are, you know, the losers. But yeah, so I've always been super fond of survival, and I was kind of hoping, you know, I had mentioned it. Is there one over there? Yeah, there is one over there. Sweet. I had mentioned that I kind of wanted a, what is it called? I wanted basically a high-end exterminate, where it like ramped up. And I thought that was the changes that were gonna come to exterminate, so that exterminate would end up becoming kind of like, how do I put this? That exterminate would pretty much become like an escalating mission where you stayed in exterminate for a long period of time, and then shablam, you know, you get more difficult enemies, and those enemies, you know, ramp up and scale up, and then you get better rewards at the end. Apparently that wasn't the case. So that's kind of like my thoughts about Endgame. I'm sorry it's so rambly, but legitimately it basically boils down to Endgame is it takes too long to get to, and it gets really boring, and it's not really that hard. Like, and believe you me, oh shit, I should probably go and get, come on, see, this is what happens when I ramble. Can I make it there? Yes I can. Yes I can. Come on baby, light my fire. Let's do it. Yes. Alright, is it me? I don't feel like I've gotten like a life support capsule in ages. I'm gonna pop both of these and then I'm gonna run back into that other room. But yeah, it's like that's kind of like, oh shit, this could be bad. This could be bad. Oh, thank God. Save me, Naramon. Save me, Naramon. But yeah, it just takes too long to get to. It doesn't really necessarily have the rewards in there. But the biggest thing about it is it's not really that hard, and anybody that tells you or misleads you to think that this is difficult, it's not that difficult. They're lying to you. They're trying to make themselves feel real good about themselves. All these people who are like, I'm an endgame specialist. Well, I'm glad you learned how to pee in a bottle, because mama's got shit that she has to do. She has to go online and pay some bills. You know, gotta do the groceries and gotta scoop kitty poop. You know, the scoop kitty poop and all that kind of like extra shit, you know, all that stuff. I'm sorry that I couldn't sit here for like a day and a half doing the exact same goddamn mission to be praised like it's something special. It's not special. It's just literally, and the thing about it too that I kind of find funny is like, it takes more mechanical skill than it takes technical skill, so for me it's not impressive. Like, if it was a technical skill thing, I'd have been like, damn, that's just dope. You see how he's dodging and weaving and shit? The only thing, for me at least, is that I feel is technical is really the battlefield awareness that comes from it. Like, there's some people that are really good with their battlefield awareness. Me, personally, I'm like, meh. I'm really bad at paying attention to, what do you call this? Paying attention to, what's my brain saying? Paying attention to like life support stuff, paying attention to defense pod stuff. Yeah, that's just kind of my stance, and I feel like I'm getting screwed on drops here. Am I getting screwed on drops? Yeah, no, I feel like nothing wants to give me any kind of drops, and these guys are being mean. Well, that's the story of my life. 14 seconds. Come on, somebody! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How many of those guys did I... Oh, is it not in the same room? It's not in the goddamn same room. Fuck my life. Oh, it's too far. Oh, it's too far. Well, you guys, that brings this episode of 60 Minutes into a close. Unfortunately, I could not hit the 90-minute mark because I was too busy chatting away instead of actually going ahead and letting you guys know. I'll actually put the build in after this. But yeah, let me know how you guys feel. Do you want more kind of endgame chats like this? What do you want to talk about? What subject matter are there? I've got a couple in my brain now that I'm thinking of. And maybe also, can I make some friends that want to do endgame stuff together as well? Because I'm just sitting here doing my solo survivals, and that's all that really matters. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Was this terrible? It might have been terrible. Let me show you the builds real fast. The only ones that really mattered were my Ash ones, let's face it. So this is the one that I was toying around with, and legitimately I just kind of slapped this one together today, mainly to do that testing thing that I did with the Ferox. And this is my Venka Prime build that pretty much basically just ran me all the way through up until the 87-minute mark, where I forgot to turn on life support. Shit, that sucks. I bet you those last two could have gotten me there too. Here's little Aspen, because Aspen was doing some work, even though he didn't hit every single enemy with the armor shredding. This is what my baby was doing. And notice, zero motherfucking mischief, zero mischief. Alright, we don't put that in there because of the clones. I actually should have probably pulled out my Darza, but I think I want to farm Kuva later, and I really am too lazy to switch. See? Look! If I can do endgame content, so can you. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch yo body. I'll see you guys next time on the next episode, maybe, if this happens again. Bye-bye!